So this morning, PlayStation announced that they're going to be completely overhauling PlayStation Plus with 3 different tiers of subscriptions coming later this summer. If you guys missed that video, I will link it down in the description below. We went through the entire announcement and talked about it, broke it down. There's a couple other things that we got to talk about. Now, one of them is a whole interview from gamesindustry.biz with James Ryan. Jim Ryan. I called him James Ryan. I mean, it's pretty much the same, right? But anyways, Jim Ryan. And he went into talking about PlayStation Plus and kind of the comparison a little bit. You know, are they going for kind of an Xbox Game Pass kind of thing here? What is going on? What is this supposed to be? He had a few different words to say, so we're gonna go through that in this video. If you guys do enjoy this one, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, my friends. You can always change your mind later. But yeah, we're gonna go through a little bit more of the details of what he had to say, because a lot of people are kind of maybe wondering, what is this? I will say off the top, there isn't a whole other video that I do want to talk about some other stuff, and that's one of the things that a lot of people are feeling a little bit annoyed that it seems that backwards compatibility is gated behind a paywall, and so we're going to talk about that in a separate video. I don't want to take up this kind of video for that, because we want to focus on this topic first, because there are 2 different kinds of topics for this. So we're gonna go into this straight into this. I'll throw the first quote up on the screen. Let's go read through it. So he says, in terms of putting our own games into this service or any of our services upon their release, so kind of like how Xbox puts big AAA games there day one, basically they go on to say that this is not a road we've gone down in the past, and it's not a road we're going to be going down, is basically what he said. We feel that if we do that with the games that we make at PlayStation Studios, that virtuous cycle will be broken. The level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible, and we think the knock-on effect on the quality of the games that we make would not be something that gamers would want. So basically what they're saying here is that they don't want to spend the money to do that, and they feel that the quality would suffer if they did do that. I don't know if they're like if he's indirectly taking kind of like a cheap shot over at Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, saying like, well, they could do it because they don't have the quality of games. I know just me saying that, even though I don't personally believe that, is going to start a whole console war. Keep it civil. I already see you guys typing there, okay? Keep it civil. But it's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird because, again, it's just the terminology, but it's whatever, okay? It's fine. All right, they're not going to put it there day one. How long? That's the big question here. How long are we going to have to wait? So, for example, God of War Ragnarok's coming out at some point. I don't know. I was going to say later this year, but do we really know it's coming out this year? Maybe not. It could be delayed too. Let's say it comes out later this year. Let's say it comes out for holiday, Christmas time. And obviously the new PlayStation Plus subscription is coming out in the summer. How long after the launch of God of War Ragnarok or any new, AAA title from PlayStation Studios do we have to wait until that game gets added to the roster? Because they did say they're going to be constantly refreshing the games and whatever. Does that also mean they're going to be constantly taking games out, swapping games in and out? I don't know. This kind of is an interesting thing to talk about. But let's go on and talk about a couple other things that he said. So he says, I'll throw it up back on screen. He says, I don't want to cast anything in stone at this stage. All I'm talking today is the approach we're taking in the short term. The way our publishing model works right now, it doesn't make any sense, but things can change very quickly in this industry, as we all know. So the door for opportunity to change is there. There is a possibility that, down the road, they could turn around and be like, okay, sure, let's switch it up. We see that maybe this would work better. Let's try this. Maybe they switch it up and they start putting their AAA games there day one. Maybe not. Like he said, for now, no, but it's one of those never say never kind of situations. Basically what he's saying, but who knows what the likelihood is. Let's move on a little bit from that. There's not a whole much more to really say about that. So I'll throw back it up on screen. So he says, in terms of the variety, he says, whether it's indies, whether it's big games, or things to celebrate our heritage, all sorts of games. We're going to have all of it. We're going to have a little bit of everything, basically. Hopefully a lineup that ticks all sorts of boxes. Again, let me know in the comments what kind of games you guys would like to see. This is something that I would like to talk about in another video. But I think there's a lot of great games for especially the classic PlayStation games that we could see. I'll throw another quote up on screen. He says, obviously, it's not for everybody, which is why it's in the premium tier. He's talking about the classic games, by the way. He says, but there are people like me who have been around forever, who have basically played those games and love those games 20 odd years ago. I feel old. Or maybe it's people whose parents rave on about these games and want to try them for themselves. I am one of those parents. Gosh, I'm old. Once we can share the lineup with the world, we think there's going to be a lot of interest in that. Okay, so basically, again, they're talking about the premium tier. Now, this is a whole thing in and of itself. We can make one video out of this topic, so I'm going to keep it brief. But I've seen your guys' comments on the original announcement video that I recorded. Some of you guys obviously feel kind of likewise with a lot of people that I see on the internet that why are they gating the classic games behind the premium tier? You have to pay 120 bucks USD. That's like probably 150 plus tax Canadian. Okay, I'm not rich, dude. The economy is just blah. Inflation, you know, it's one of those things. We're not rich out here. And to say that, like, okay, we're going to lock these games behind the premium, and it's like, okay, it's not for everybody, but if anybody wants to play them, you could pay for the premium subscription. I don't know how I feel about that, man. Now, what I would love to see is that there is the premium subscription if you want, you know, kind of that full catalog, or one of those and or kind of situations. Let us buy them. If we just want one or two of these games, let's say I want it, like, let's say they have at launch 10 to 20 PlayStation 1 games, for example, right? They probably won't have that many. They'll probably have like 5, but who knows? Let's say they have like 5 or 10. Let's say out of 10, there's like 2 I want to play, and the other 8 I don't really care for. I really don't. Do I really have to pay for this premium subscription if I want to play them? I mean, that kind of sucks. And I have the same argument for Nintendo Switch Online. I think that not having the virtual console options is not a good thing. I think people should be able to buy these games individually if they see fit, or basically get access to all of them through a subscription. Now, the subscription would obviously mean that you're technically paying less, right? Because if you buy them individually, they'd be like, what, $3 to $5 a pop? And so in that sense, you're almost doubled monetizing, which normally would be frowned upon with certain, you know, regards. Like if you're going to sell a game, then have heavy microtransactions, for example, that's something that'd be frowned upon if you're going to double dip. But in this element, it makes sense. It makes sense. Allow people to purchase them individually. You know, like I said, you know, $5 a pop or something, whatever. Maybe even the more popular games, you charge $7, whatever. It's whatever, right? But then, if people want access to the entire library, well, they're just going to subscribe, because at that point, it's just going to cost them less money. You know what I mean? They got to do it. I don't think they will, but they got to. It sucks to say that, you know, you don't think they will. One more thing. Do let me know, by the way, in the comment section below. You know, are you going to pay for the premium subscription? Is that something that you're willing to do? I'm really not sure. Honestly, I really, really want to. But it's a lot of money, man. It's you know, again, I want, if they had them available to purchase individually, I would probably blow like $100 plus on the games that I just want. You know what I mean? Like just being able to select, pick and choose all my favorite games. That in and of itself. Okay, one more quote. I'll throw it up on screen. He does say that he feels that the medium of gaming is so very different. You guys can see it. To music and to linear entertainment, such as Netflix, things like that, that he doesn't think that we'll see it go to levels that we see with Spotify and Netflix. So kind of interesting that he's saying this, because on one side of the gaming industry, you got Xbox, who kind of feels opposite, right? That they have their whole Xbox Game Pass. They believe a subscription-based is the future of games. On the other side, you have PlayStation, who thinks the opposite. We're not going to go to that extent, to that level. Maybe to some, you know, to some extent, but not that far. And I thought it was just kind of interesting to see that, you know, they just, you know, whole different business models. And again, right, you got two different kinds of, businesses, right? Obviously, PlayStation being, you know, out of, you know, Japan, Xbox, part of Microsoft, more, you know, American-based. Two different ways of thinking. So I don't know. I just wanted to cover that really quick in this video. Let me know what you guys think about it all. Pretty interesting stuff to talk about. I mean, we got a lot to talk about leading up to launch. And again, there's still a lot of questions. What games are going to be there at launch? How many games of each platform? We got a few of the games announced, like we talked about earlier this morning, such as like Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, God of War, Death Stranding, Mortal Kombat 11, Returnal. But beyond that, what else are we going to have? That's the big question. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Where do you stand? Are you just going to keep buying the normal one, which is going to be PlayStation Plus Essential? Are you going to go for the extra one that will give you 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, as they phrase it? Or are you going to go straight for the premium, which will give you access to, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PSP, PS4, PS5, all that great stuff as well. I will say one more thing. PS3, no actual emulation, just cloud streaming. Come on, man. And we all know PlayStation can do it, but they're not doing it. So anyways, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys very soon. Another one. Stay safe, stay well. Be sure to like and subscribe if you guys are new and want to stick around for more content. It really helps out the channel, and I'll see you guys later. Till then, game on.